Do you, or someone close to you, suffer with eczema? It's not a pleasant health condition to suffer with, is it? It impacts on all areas of your life, just like asthma does. In this video, you'll find out why you should be challenging the status quo of modern day medication, and the advice you receive from certain members of the medical profession. This and more is coming up right now. Plus, you'll also find out about alternative natural options you have on how to treat eczema and what omega-3 fatty acids can do to help your eczema for the rest of your life. Before you find out what those options are and how omega-3 fatty acids can help eczema sufferers, consider getting an ongoing collection of news, reports, resources and courses on various health and wellness issues linked or connected with omega-3 fatty acids. To do so is very easy. Just take a moment to subscribe and then click the grey bell icon so you don't miss out on future uploads. And watch this video to the very end where you will gain access to a special report. So, eczema. Did you know that about 30% of Americans suffer with eczema? According to the National Eczema Association, eczema is the name for a group of conditions that cause the skin to become itchy, inflamed, or have a rash-like appearance. There are 7 types of eczema: atopic dermatitis, contact dermatitis, dyshidrotic eczema, numinal eczema, seborrheic dermatitis, and stasis dermatitis. Eczema is very common. In fact, over 31 million Americans have some form of eczema. Eczema can begin during childhood, adolescence, or adulthood, and it can range from mild to severe. Eczema is not contagious. You can't catch it from someone else. While the exact cause of eczema is supposedly unknown, researchers do know that people who develop eczema do so because of a combination of genes and environmental triggers. When an irritant or an allergen from outside or inside the body switches on the immune system, it produces inflammation. It's this inflammation that causes the symptoms common to most types of eczema. By the way, are you aware there's a connection between eczema and asthma? More on this a bit later, so keep watching. You've probably been fed the same old rhetoric of there's no cure for eczema and that it's hereditary. If so, don't worry, you aren't alone. In fact, virtually everyone diagnosed with eczema is taken down this road and told that the best they can expect is that the treatment for the symptoms will help suppress the problem. But you don't want the symptoms suppressed, you want the problem cured, right? Nobody can claim that there's a cure for eczema, in the same way that nobody can claim there's a cure for asthma. However, that's not to say you can't implement certain steps to help your body to minimise and stop the incidence of you suffering outbreaks of eczema. Here's why. 1. Eczema is a man-made disease. Your lifestyle and your diet have a massive impact on your eczema condition, and if you're a young woman, you have the extra responsibility to ensure you eat the right foods and cut out the bad foods, because this has a direct impact on your unborn children if and when you get pregnant. 2. Exposure to certain environmental conditions such as 1. Low humidity climates, 2. Stress, and 3. Air pollution, including cigarette smoke and traffic fumes. 3. Exposure to certain personal conditions such as 1. Lack of minerals and vitamins in your diet, 2. Obesity, 3. Allergies to food and ingredients, and 4. Allergies to personal health products such as sprays and creams, and 4. Hereditary and genetic reasons. The key to getting a grasp of the problems that eczema creates is that it's a man-made disease. Yes, there are hereditary issues, but in the main it's a disease that can be controlled far better than most people realise, simply because they're not getting the full lowdown on their disease and because they're being left to their own devices to find out how to treat themselves. Once people start to understand this, eventually they'll realise that the solution, or a number of solutions, can be found by going back in time when eczema was hardly known about, and to determine what has changed since then to help pinpoint the causes. Then you can do something about attacking the causes of eczema rather than just playing about with treating the symptoms, which will likely continue to arise throughout the rest of your life. And the key to doing something that will get your eczema condition under control is getting your cellular health and the level of chronic inflammation in your body back into balance, which is where omega-3 fatty acids play a vital and crucial role. What omega-3 fatty acids can do to help you and your unborn children. The cellular health of your body is paramount to leading a healthy life. Its impacts on every cell in your body, from your brain, heart and gut, to your blood, your bones, joints and muscles, through to your overall immune system. And to maintain your cellular health, you need to have your omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acid ratio in your body at a level of 4:1 or less, according to the World Health Organization. These two omegas that must be present in your body are known as essential fatty acids. Your body doesn't make them. You have to obtain them from your diet. This is crucial to remember, as will be highlighted shortly. And the difference between the two omegas are: 1. Omega-6 fatty acids are inflammatory, and 2. Omega-3 fatty acids are anti-inflammatory. Omega-6s are required to enable your body to repair itself in the event it's attacked with viruses and when you cut and bruise yourself. Your immune system triggers an inflammatory reaction when your body is attacked or suffers an adverse reaction, and so the omega-6s go to work on those areas of your body that need fixing. The omega-3s are there to dampen down the omega-6s once the omega-6s have done their job. Hence the reason why omega-6s are inflammatory and omega-3s are anti-inflammatory. Now, as you can only get your essential fatty acids from your diet, you need to ensure you eat a balanced diet. But you likely don't. Here's why. 1. Since the end of the Second World War, if not before then, your diet is made up of more and more processed foods made by food manufacturers. 2. Farming methods have changed dramatically, plus harmful pesticides and herbicides have got into the food chain. 3. Food processing methods remove the natural healthy vitamins and nutrients and are replaced by sugars and preservatives to enhance the flavours. 4. Those sugars and preservatives become addictive, making it much harder for people to keep to weight loss diets. 5. The types of processed foods rich in omega-6s include fast foods, takeaway foods, microwave meals, cakes, sweets, confectionery, vegetable oils, fizzy drinks, sauces and much, much more. So, what does this mean to your health? 1. Your cellular health gets out of balance, meaning that you have too many omega-6s and insufficient omega-3s, which leads to 2. Your cell membranes, which protect your cells, becoming impermeable so that the nutrients from the healthy food you eat are unable to nourish your cells. Also, the impermeable cell membranes stop the toxins from being dispersed sufficiently from the cells. 3. In effect, and as an analogy, your cells turn into stagnant ponds. 4. And because of that, the toxins fester over many years and decades, causing chronic inflammation to get out of hand, which eventually shows itself in the form of chronic illnesses and degenerative diseases such as IBS, cardiovascular disease, dementia, diabetes, cancers, asthma and eczema, to name just a few. Now, can you see that when your body, that is your immune system, tries to fight off these illnesses and diseases, that because there's insufficient omega-3s to restrain the omega-6s, the chronic inflammation spreads and the illnesses and diseases, such as eczema, eventually show themselves. So it follows then that pregnant mothers have a critical role to play here. If the mother has an omega-6 to omega-3 imbalance, which is highly likely, the unborn baby cannot access the omega-3s from her for its own healthy development. For example, in the third trimester, the baby draws down its required omega-3s from the mother's brain for the development of its own brain. And if it's starved of that resource, it runs the risk of being born with issues that show themselves in the form of behavioural problems such as ADHD, and issues such as colic, asthma and eczema. Now, do you see why keeping your cellular health in balance is critical? One frightening statistic you may not be aware of is that about 95% of the Western world has an omega-6 to omega-3 imbalance higher than 4:1. So, the only way to know if you're in or out of balance is to take a simple dry blood spot test. Details of how to access this are shared in the description box below this video. Omega-3s are obtained from oily fish such as wild salmon, anchovies, sardines and mackerel. For vegans, omega-3s are obtained from marine algae, which the fish consume, such as seaweed. You can obtain omega-3s from walnuts, flaxseeds, chia seeds and leafy green vegetables, such as kale, spinach and broccoli, but they're not as effective as the marine algae sourced omega-3s. However, most people will have to make up their omega-3 shortfall consumption by taking supplements. Warning number 1. Most omega-3 supplements, sometimes referred to as krill oil, fish oil and cod liver oil that you buy from retail outlets and online stores, are ineffective because they don't include the vital antioxidants called polyphenols. Warning number 2. Supplements that show vitamin E as an antioxidant are ineffective too. For the omega-3 fatty acids to reach the cell membranes and cells in your body, they have to be chaperoned by the polyphenols to protect them from being attacked by free radicals. As a rough guide, it takes about 24 to 48 hours for the omega-3 fatty acids to reach the cell membranes and cells. The vitamin E, as a so-called antioxidant, wears off long before then, hence why most omega-3 supplements you see on the shop shelves are inefficient. All the vitamin E does is to act as a preservative until unsuspecting shoppers buy the product. If you're already someone who takes such supplements, and perhaps you have done so for a number of years, do you know how to determine if they work? That's easy. Just take a simple dry blood spot test. Details on how to access this are shared in the description box below this video. And one thing to bear in mind in all of this, when it comes to improving your skin condition, and you've tried all sorts of creams and potions on your skin, is that omega-3 fatty acids effectively moisturise and nourish your skin from the inside of your body. So, if you recall what was said earlier about your cell membranes becoming more permeable, by getting your cellular health back into balance by increasing your omega-3 intake, it follows that your skin will not feel so tight, and it can also help slow down your skin's aging process as a consequence. Another benefit that many people overlook and fail to appreciate. Asthma and eczema. Is there a connection? People often wonder if there's a connection between these two illnesses. Firstly, asthma is a disease of your respiratory system and so affects the inside of your body, whereas eczema is a disease of the skin and shows itself as an external condition of your body. Secondly, both diseases benefit from changing your lifestyle and your diet by introducing omega-3 fatty acids. Specifically, common traits of the two diseases are: 1. Both conditions are linked to inflammation. 2. A large number of people have eczema as a child and then develop asthma later on in life. 3. Both eczema and asthma attacks can be triggered by dry or cold air, stress, and exposure to irritants such as smoke and fragrances, and allergies. When you suffer an asthma or eczema attack, your immune system reacts by releasing histamines and other antibodies to attack these triggers. And as explained above, your body overreacts because of the excessive omega-6s in your body. This is what creates sneezing, nasal congestion, itchy and watery eyes, and itchy skin rashes. So, summing up then, if you want to help reduce your eczema or those close to you that suffer with eczema, there are 3 immediate steps you can easily take. 1. Cut out your omega-6 food intake, that is, the takeaway meals, cakes, chocolates and fizzy drinks. 2. Take a simple dry blood spot test. Details on how to access this are shared in the description box below this video. 3. Change your diet to include the omega-3 foods referred to above, such as wild salmon. And 4. Take a combined omega-3 and polyphenol antioxidant to get your cellular health, that is, your omega-6 to omega-3 fatty acids balance in your body, back into balance, which can take, in about 95% of cases, between 4 to 6 months. So, now you understand the vital role your diet plays in the level of chronic inflammation in your body, and the vital role that omega-3 fatty acids and polyphenols play in keeping your cellular health in balance, you can start taking immediate steps to halt the eczema, reduce the incidence and severity of eczema attacks, and start getting your life, or the life of someone close to you who suffers with eczema, and the life of those around you, back to some form of normality. Note, as always, consult with your doctor if you're unsure of any supplementation or divergence from a prescribed dietary plan. To begin the journey of improving your eczema by dealing with the root cause of chronic inflammation, click on the URL link in the description box below this video. Complete the short questionnaire and then hit the start button. Finally, don't forget to click on the special report link in the description box below this video to get access to how omega-3 fatty acids help fight 28 common skin disorders. And now, here's the boring but very essential bit. Kindly note, the content of this video does not constitute medical advice in any shape or form and has been created for passive informational purposes only. End of boring but very essential bit. Many thanks for watching this video. In the meantime, and until the next video is released, bye for now.